Hey guys, so in this video is going to be a 2-in-1 video. I am going to be talking about my singing lesson slash also like my honest review on LED lights, and I will randomly be changing the color throughout this video. I have the remote, but I will have to stand up because this thing has to point at a blue thing, and I have to stand up to do that. And stuff. First up, make sure you like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Right now, I have them on like a bluish teal. I love that. And now I am gonna stand up and change color here. Come on. There we go. Change them to like a purplish fuchsia. And I counted, and I already have forgotten how many is on here. I think there's 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10. Yeah, there's like 20 different colors. and apparently I have the hiccups. My favorite setting is jump 7 because it literally just like flashes, it's constantly just changing colors, and it like does a good amount of colors, and it's like really, really fun. But I didn't want to turn it on that setting because on the fact that I feel like it might make some people might have a problem with that, because it's constantly changing colors, and it looks really cool for like TikToks and stuff. But I feel like when you stare at it for a long period of time, some people start having a problem with it. I don't know, but yeah. And honestly, I have wanted LED lights for 6 years now. Maybe over 6 years, I'm not exactly sure. But I have looked into them, I wanted them since they first became, kind of well known. And I thought, oh, they're really cool. And then I finally got them. I generally, I got them, and I think they're really, really cool. Really cool. I love them. Right now, I am gonna change the color. Wait, I'm gonna see if I can change it from here. Nope. Come on. Okay. It's supposed to be yellow, but it's not yellow at all. It is definitely more green, but okay. It works. We're going with it for a minute or so, but anyways, I love them. I love that the battery came already installed. I might try to show you, but I don't know if I can open. Oh wait. You're just gonna have to trust me, but I love that the battery came already installed in the remote and stuff, but that's cool. And here's what the remote looks like. The button, I tested it, and I like it because whenever it is changing colors or something, if it's changing colors or something, I can press that button and it will pause and just stay on that color, and it's I love it, and they're really cool. And I'm really happy with them, and it looks cool, and I tried it with my singing lesson yesterday, and it just looks cool. Now, I'm going to talk about my singing lesson because a lot kind of happened. First up, yesterday was all over the place. And for me, because first up, I'm not going to go into full detail because I did kind of talk about it yesterday. But anyways, it was time for my singing lesson. And, well, no, it was like, okay, around 2 o'clock, I logged on to see if I had danced because I logged on around 2 o'clock and stayed on until like after 2:15 and because to see if I had danced because there were 2 different times put on Instagram and we didn't know if Abby was teaching or what. And no one logged on. So I waited and I'm like, okay, it's the later time. Well, I got ready for my voice lesson. I pulled the microphone out. Now, I did not turn it on. It was not on. It's just for looks and to make me feel a little more professional because I don't need to turn on the amplifier and the microphone when the teacher can hear me perfectly fine. And yeah. And I went over the song a couple of times and I didn't know how much. Like, I didn't know how much of the song I was going to be doing because it's really up to the teacher. And so I was going and I got like a page and a half done. And that's when she told me to stop. She gave me some corrections or some notes. And the one note that she gave me like 2 notes. The first note is in the song there are parts that are like singing parts and then there's talking parts in the song. Cause there's like, I can't really say because of copyright reason, but there are parts in the song that like, are more to get like the audience involved and like get them excited. And then there's actual like singing parts. And I kind of didn't realize that. Like, I didn't realize that, and the thing is, I never realized that until yesterday, and the teacher, like, made me realize that, because she was like, when you're doing the, like, talking parts, really make sure that it's different from the singing parts. Or, like, she gave me a note about it, something I kind of forget, because the second time I fixed it the second time, so I don't really, I forget what the actual note was. It was like a little like correction or note. And what actually happened was in class. So I'm gonna talk about like my turn and then what led up to it and stuff. So like, I didn't even realize that there are parts in the song. There's like a specific line or like certain parts that are talking parts and not really singing. And then there are parts in the song that are singing. And I'm thinking I'm gonna change songs because I didn't realize that and I feel like I did this song for 2 voice lessons and I did really well, I feel, and I feel like it's time to do a different song because it's time to like do a different song, and also because I want to do one that's test me more as a singer, and that one has a mixture of talking parts and singing parts, but you don't even realize that, like, or I didn't realize that listening to the song. Like, I listened to JoJo's song, Everyday Pop Stars, like, I heard it quite a few times, and I don't 100% have it memorized. Here, I'm gonna change colors. We're gonna change it to whatever this color is. Okay, this is more like, I feel like it's still greenish yellow, but it seems a little more yellow and less green. Okay, I'm changing it again. we're going with blue because apparently this color, when I clicked it, it still turned out like a greenish yellow, but it was slightly more yellow. And look, this one is supposed to be yellow, but it looked kind of like a greenish yellow. So I changed it to like this like light blue. And then in a little bit, we'll change it again to a different color. But anyways, yeah. So yeah, I do not have my next song picked, or the song that I am going to work on next and singing with picked out. I have some ideas. And yeah, and so I'm like figuring it out. Like I'm figuring it out. And that is something that I will try to do, like, probably tomorrow. I don't know when. But anyways, the one, like, note that I remember, and this is kind of, like, more of a rule. Oh, and the thing is, this is something that seems easy, but for me it's not easy at all, is that I cannot sit. I have to stand, which I like because I can really use the microphone, but for some reason, luckily I am allowed to kind of like move around and like add a little bit of like dancing to it without actually like jumps and spins, none of that. But like I can kind of like incorporate a little bit of like dancing in that one spot to like get them involved a little more or something. And because someone else did that and the teacher didn't say anything, like she never told them they couldn't. So I am gonna change. Let me. Wait, that kind of just seems like it let me do. We'll do this one, even though I don't really know what color it is. It kind of is. I don't know what color this is. This is kind of like giving me a little bit of like a pink-ish blue. Like, I'm not sure. But, yeah. It works for now. But anyways, I was gonna do one, but then when I clicked it, it kind of just looked similar to one that I already did. So, and the reason that I can't sit is because apparently when I'm standing, it tests my singing a little bit more. And yesterday, I don't know what was. Yesterday, something was off. And I like didn't know what it was. I wasn't nervous. It was not that. And it wasn't nervous, and it wasn't that I didn't know what to expect. I don't know what it was, but something was off yesterday, and I have no clue what it was. So I am gonna figure that out and hope to get figured out before my next singing lesson. And so like something just kind of seemed off. And it wasn't like anything like, I don't know what it was. And I'm the type of person where emotions, I don't know how to say them. I do not know what they are. Like, I am the one that I will not know, an emotion until like a month later. And then I'm like, oh, looking back at that, oh, I think it was this. And I'm like, I don't think it was anything bad. It was just something fell off, like something was like missing. It was like I generally what I think now that I'm really thinking about it, I think I was so focused on, like, two things. First up, not knowing what point she was gonna stop me at, like, if we were doing the whole song, or if we were, like, gonna do only a part of it, like, there was that. But also, I feel like that was part of it, but I feel like the main thing was I didn't feel connected. I felt like I loved the song, it's a good song, but I felt like the reason I wasn't connected, especially the first time I did it, was I was so busy looking at the lyrics. And I had the lyrics in my hand, and then the second time she told me to stand up, and so what I did was I ended up doing a different part of the song because I felt it was more singing based, and I'm not so much like talking and more just like singing, and it's a really good part of the song. And she didn't mind. So there was one specific line that happens in multiple parts of the song that she really wanted me to like do the second time, so that worked. And I have no clue. So anyways, I'm like, it went really well. I feel it went well. I feel like I had more notes. Like, I don't feel, but I actually, like, this is more like something that is true. I had more notes than last time, but last time I wasn't looking at the lyrics. And last time I was able to, like, really look at the screen and sit there and look at the screen. And this time, the first time I was sitting there, and then the second time I was told to stand. And I feel like standing felt weird because I'm so used to it actually dancing. Like, I'm not used to, like, standing. And I say that because it's true. I am not used to standing. And because I never stand, it's like, and what I mean by that is you're probably like, when you're doing something that, like, when you're cooking or baking, you're standing. And sometimes, and the truth to that is, yes, but I'm moving. Like, what I mean by that is, like, sometimes I'll be, like, cooking and baking, and I'll, like, just be sitting down in a chair. And then sometimes I'm, like, doing something with my arms. I'm, like, cooking and baking, or I'm like walking around, like grabbing something, putting something away, like, so I'm constantly moving. And like even when I'm like just getting a drink or something, and I'm still doing something with my hands, but also most of the time I have my leg up on the counter, or I'm doing a heel stretch into a side tilt, or I'm doing the splits or something. Like, I don't really stand too much. And so, like, the only time I ever really stand is if I'm at the store and I'm in line. Or if I'm at the, like, in line to, like, check out. Or if I'm at the store and I'm looking at something and I'm like, am I gonna get it or no? So it was really, really weird to, like, it was really weird to kind of just be standing there. And also, I didn't really know the lyrics. So, yeah. Anyway, it was just something like, it is what it is. And so it was, like, different for me. And literally leading up to it, what happened was, at first, like, we did group warm up, and then, and, like, a couple people went, and then finally I'm like, okay, I have 15 minutes until I have to be in dance. So I literally put in the chat, I'm like, hey, can I go next? I have dance in 15 minutes. And then she told me, she's like, yeah, you can go next. And then I went and I had my turn. And then I listened to all the notes she gave me. And then I logged off. I generally, I listened to the notes and then I logged off. And so, yeah. Anyways. But things worked out really, really well. Things worked out really well. And I'm really happy with how things worked out. Let me change. Okay, this is cool, but not. Okay, here I'm gonna do orange. And he got orange. And to me this is like an orange gold almost. And I really like it. It looks like gold, but also orange. I like this. You can't really tell. But I will. If you're wondering why there's like a gap up there, that is because the thing is not quite long enough. But it worked really well. And I'm really happy with it. But I felt like the reason I fell off was kind of two reasons. Well, actually multiple reasons. The first reason was the obvious, I was the standing. The standing, I feel like I have to get used to that. Because I can stand, but I have a lot of energy, and I'm a dancer, and I'm used to constantly moving around, dancing, and giving it 150% and more. Giving it everything I possibly can. And I'm used to knowing that when I mess up, I do it again. And I keep doing it. And so I feel like it was just different. Because I wasn't expecting her to, tell me, to stand. And then that happened, but it is what it is. And actually, I feel like it's gonna take some getting used to, but I don't have a problem with it at all. I feel like that's actually smart, and I feel like later on, I am gonna adjust the microphone because that was also a minor problem with that. Was that I didn't have it adjusted to the right height, and so it just kind of was not in the best position. So I'm gonna adjust it a little bit, figure out the height that I need it, and then leave it at that. Or that way I know, and for singing lessons I can adjust it. Also, on top of it, the microphone was facing down, and I'm thinking I'm gonna leave it facing up because that it holds better that way. What I mean is when it was facing down, it worked really, really well. It worked well, but it was kind of moving around a little bit, and when it's facing up, it stays still. So I'm leaving it facing up. But the big thing was I was looking at the lyrics and not really, I'm working on I was looking at the lyrics anyway. Okay, we've done that. Let me Okay. I keep looking at this because this is like slowly changing color and it kind. Wait, what? Wait. Oh wait, that's the difference. Okay, we're doing this one then. If I can hit it. Turns out the one that I like is FADE7. This one, and apparently it's the one that I like because it changes colors but like not crazy, and you really get to see each color. And what I mean by that is like, in one setting I like it, but it changes so fast that you can't really see the color. And this one like changes, it stays there for a sec, and then it changes. I feel the singing lesson went really well. I'm gonna choose a different song, but anyways, I feel I did a really good job. It was just like kind of different, and I think part of it is, as much as I want to say that like things are just like going perfectly and all of that, and I am aware of the fact that like it is weird doing this without my crush, and luckily I'm doing a really good job, and I'm not really letting it like get to me, but. And for me, I'm also using the strategy of thinking back on everything he's ever said. Everything he has ever said to me, and I'm bringing it to the singing lesson. Because that, I feel like doing that makes me go at my best. And that's just kind of what I'm doing, and that's what works. Or I'm like, I know I'm just at the point of like, one day, hopefully, only soon, well, hopefully one day, and hopefully soon I'll find him. But for now, I'm doing really good. I'm doing really good. And I have Sam. I love you, Sam. He's like, I'm sleeping. I'm gonna say peace out. Bye.